Car culture in the UK is funny because some people treat their cars like pets with the names you give them. The first car I had was an Audi A3. I can't remember the name that I gave her. That's kind of awkward. And then I jumped into an E220 coupe. Her name was Esmeralda. I know, she's sexy in it. She was way too bad for me. So then I calmed it down and bought a Slee, that car doesn't exist. I bought a C-Class coupe. Listen, guys, it was a bit of a toxic relationship. She kept cutting my hands every time I grabbed the steering wheel, so again, didn't get a name. Like, guys, come on, can you blame me? I then jump into my current car, another Audi A3. She's called Antoinette. Hang on, wait. Yo, you think I'm making this up for content? Yeah, yo, one sec. I highly doubt you can see this, but yeah, that's my Audi app. Yeah, Antoinette, can you see at the top? I'll probably just bang the screenshot up. What am I doing? Yeah, come on. All right, yeah, I'll just bang the screenshot on that. Why am I getting hyped off banging a screenshot? Yo, is it one of them days, bro? Yo, that coffee I sipped earlier is hitting bumper clock. Anyways, with your pet car, you can wash them like a pet. You can buy ridiculous things for them like a pet. And you'll be celebrating their birthdays like you would with a pet. In the UK, on your pet car's 3rd birthday and every birthday after that, you're legally required to celebrate its birthday with something called an MOT. This is where I took my car to have its most recent MOT. In fact, let's play a game where you guess what MOT means. 3, 2, 1, you're out of time, my friend. It means Ministry of Transport, which is the government agency who founded the MOT test. This test tests the emissions your car puts out to make sure it's within legal limits. Alongside that, mechanical and visual inspection takes place to ensure your car's safe and roadworthy. With that wordy explainer out the way, I want to find out if every single Blacklist car would pass an MOT. Let's start with Blacklist number 15. So right off the bat, I know for a fact this Golf would fail an MOT because there's no front registration plate. Your car is required to have both front and rear license plates in the UK, number plates, license plates. All 15 Blacklist cars don't have a front registration plate. If we pop our tinfoil hats on for a second, this might have something to do with the fact that Most Wanted is set in America where front reg plates aren't required, I think. Let's put the reg plate thing aside because I want this video to be longer than 2 minutes. So, back to the MOT. Unfortunately, Most Wanted doesn't allow you to put cars up on a ramp, so we're going to formulate this sick game plan. Yo, listen up. We're going to continue the visual MOT, and then, providing everything's safe, we'll give it a little drive around to see if the mechanical components are functioning correctly. So, straight away, Sonny's car fails in section 3, visibility, more specifically section 3.2, which is the condition of glass. If we look at the defect reference section and go to B2, it reads windscreen or window excessively tinted and visibility through swept area of windscreen or obligatory external mirror is seriously affected. To shorten that novel, basically what it's saying is that the tints on the windscreen and the passenger windows are too dark, meaning it's harder to see through them. For these colourful screen protectors to be legal, they need to allow 75% of light through the windscreen and 70% through the front passenger windows. These windows on Sonny's car look like they're maybe half. What are we saying, guys? Hang on, I'm looking at a green screen. Wait, let me look at the photo of the car. Yeah, what are we saying about these guys? What, 10-20%? These tints are classed as a major defect, which is a fail, no questions asked. Cry about it on Facebook. Oh, by the way, whether a defect is classified as a major or a dangerous makes no difference to this video. Don't know why I said it like that. They're both still MOT fails. It's just that dangerous faults pose an immediate risk to you or Sonny, the driver, and people around him. Straight away, I can sense that the accelerator pedal is functioning normally. The steering feels okay. Something could be said about the performance of said steering because the car feels like I'm turning a boat. Brakes look to have passed the test again. Won't comment on the actual stopping power of the brakes. I believe they are adequate, though. Again, question the performance here. I can't really think of a reason as to why the car would fail on the emissions. Looks good to me. I can't really think of any reason as to why the suspension would be compromised either. It looks mechanically fine. Car looks good. Listen, right, if I was a mechanic and this thing pulled up for an MOT, I would take one look at the car and then I'd take a 5-hour lunch break, I'd cook up a roast them because that thing is an instant fail. In fact, the police would pull you over in the UK if you were whipping this around. I'll give you 5 seconds to guess why. Too slow? Sorry, I'm a little impatient. This would fail section 6.2.1 D1. Body has an unsafe modification. This Gillette razor blade of a bumper is a danger to the general public. Plus, if you're rocking a car with red rims, you're 100% on some kind of register. And that goes for you 992 GC3 RS owners too, especially that guy cut up on New Birmingham Road 3 weeks back. Car sounded hella sexy though. He's like 47, he definitely doesn't watch my videos. Why am I saying this? The windscreen for me falls into section B1 of the visibility part of the test, as I believe it would allow just enough lighting to not affect the driver's view. Look, right, bear in mind the garage that we're in makes the tints look a little darker than they actually are, so you've got to check out all the angles are right. Okay, there's a bit of a window tint fetish in Most Wanted. Yeah, that's a fail again, those are too dark. Listen, right, I've worked in customer service. I know of a word called discretion. If Vic was a cool guy, I'd give bro a call and tell him that the Supra would pass an MOT if the window tints were ripped off the front windscreen and the passenger windows. Do you want me to do that real quick? Fine, fuck you then. FYI, the spoiler looks fine because it's securely fixed, and in my opinion there's no sharp edges. Front bumper's a little sus though. I'll be honest, I'm not sure about the front bumper. I'd have to go and ask my boss. Anybody watching who actually conducts MOTs, what do you think? The edges do look smooth and contoured, so I think it would pass an MOT. But then window tints, they're lighter than the Golf, but that's still a fail under visibility section 3.2 B2. Alright guys, get comfortable for about 10 seconds. I've got a quick story I need to tell you. So, the MOT mainly focuses on the structural integrity of the vehicle in question. So, if components such as the exhaust and the suspension are too low and could be damaged as a result of hitting objects in the road, it could fail. The car you're testing needs to be able to steer properly, which I can confirm, it does. And the headlights need to be at least 50 centimeters above the ground, which if we just measure it real quick, yeah, that's kind of like, yeah, that's about, yeah, just about manages it. Right, interesting. Oh, the front windscreen and passenger windows are tinted too dark again. Fail! Boys, I'm sick of talking about window tints. I noticed on the PC version of the game, some of the Blacklist cars have lighter window tints. Problem for me is that I only have all of the Blacklist cars unlocked on the GameCube version, so I'm gonna just keep going. So yeah, those window tints are a fail. By the way, that spoiler restricts rear visibility. As sick as it looks, I'd consider it a fail. Promise I'm not the world's most miserable MOT inspector. Cars shipped from factory have different road compliances that they need to abide by, which I kinda get, but what if you attached a spoiler that caused the exact same visibility issue a factory fitted spoiler would? Why would mine result in a potential fail? Tip your MOT inspectors. Look, let's speed things up. My feet are aching from standing up. Say it with me. Fail. Sharp edges. Also, I think the tints are legal. Is this even a tint, or does it just need a good polishing? That obstructs the driver's view. Fail. Wait. I think the horizontal gap in the spoiler saves it. But what about the roof scoop? Well, I did some research and I found out they're legal as long as they don't block the driver's view, weigh less than 100 kilograms, and wouldn't injure a pedestrian in an accident. But how would you test that? Would you take it for a drive and run a few people over and then get their opinions on the scoop? My mechanic would, because he's dedicated to the job. Shout out Tony, that was a joke. What about the window tints? Boys, this is a pass. Ming's car is an interesting one. In the GameCube version, the window tints are way too dark. But when I'm judging the Lambo and other versions of Most Wanted with better graphics, the car doesn't have these dark window tints. Fuck it, I'm in a bit of a good mood. I'm just gonna pass it. I don't care, fight me. Love this car. The window tints are illegal though. If you're someone who can firm this dog interior, I'll pass the car. I ain't trying to make your day any worse. Yes, Americans, the interior's dog shit. I know folk are like, physical buttons, wow. If you want something physical, play with a bop it. They're like £20 from Toys R Us. Play with your wife's hair. Nah, wait, it's only old heads who'd cry about physical buttons. Go and play with your great granddaughter. Now, let me stop with the rage, mate. I think a mix of physical buttons and a touchscreen curates the best driving experience. Having a decent sized screen for Waze is a top tier luxury. I'd put it on the same level as a business class flight or having someone tie your shoelaces for you. Have you ever had that experience? Might be controversial, but I think JV splitter is fine. I'd say the same for the tints too, though I do feel like it would be a 50-50 split on whether an actual MOT advisor would fail this car due to the spoiler. Again, it's all about the lack of visibility because the spoiler looks like it's angled down more compared to Case's car. Yeah, I can't decide. I'm gonna flip a coin. If I got a coin, I hope I've got a coin. I haven't even got one. It's on me. Sake. Okay, so guys, I have found a £2 coin sterling. What are we saying? Tails it passes, heads it fails, right? It is. Can I have a drum roll, please? All right, I can't be asked to wait. It's tails. The car passes the test. Putting myself in the shoes of a mechanic carrying out an MOT on this car, I think the front splitter is too excessive and would cause injury to pedestrians. You know, if you like run them over. I mean, they get injured anyways, but I think they'd get more injured if, like, you know, like the splitter was there. Let's say you do give this car a pass and then 3 weeks later, the driver runs a kid over at a zebra crossing and dismembers the child's ankles because it hit that splitter. What if the police, during their investigation, look at that front bumper and deem you to be liable for passing that car with an extended bumper? Would you take that risk? I would, man. F it, I'm all up for self-expression, as long as we're not talking about dog shit interiors. Pass! Being serious for a second, that splitter would be foul. It extends too much. I think it'd be dangerous. Okay, balls SLR McLaren. Oh, dear. Nah, okay, a first pass, no questions asked. Let's not be silly. That leaves us with the legendary BMW M3 GTR. This beast is the legendary GT version of the E46 Model 3 series. I'm sure most of you watching knows this. Sorry to insult your intelligence. I've got to serve you some context. Got to salt the fries before serving them, you know what I'm saying? Off topic, I'd love to know the reason why this car was imported into Most Wanted. It's the only race car in the game, and that's probably why it's so beloved. It's unique with them straight cut gears connected to that screaming V8, and that's where I, as an MOT inspector, would have a problem. I have no way to scientifically examine this like I would in real life, but I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that this car would fail the emissions test, as it would likely have a racing type exhaust, which means it might be missing the legal filters and converters required on modern cars. These filters reduce the output of things like NOx gases, CO2 emissions, carbon monoxide output, and cars these days are under strict limits that they have to stay under during operation. If I was a gambling man, I'd bet my last £2 coin on that M3 GTR failing the emissions test, as well as Section 8 of the MOT inspection manual. Well, what's Section 8, Luke? Alright, yo, slow down, cheeky c***s. In fact, you know what? You can have an ad instead. Well, hang on, this is the first video on my channel. I do not have monetization yet. I can't put an ad wherever I want it. But what do Arsenal fans, people who hog the fast lane, and people who walk slow as hell with their trolley in Tesco have in common? Tesco's a supermarket, by the way. If there was a collective name that would perfectly describe all of these folk, what would that be? Nuisance. In relation to an MOT, we're talking about noise. Look, section 8.1.1 references a noise suppression system. The M3 GTI ain't got any of that. Remember, it's a GT car. Weight saving is the game. All of that before I even get into the interior of the car, but this is where I'm going to be a lazy f*** and leave it to you. Looking at the interior of this M3 GTR, do you think it'd pass an MOT? I'd love to hear your opinions. Look, right, this is the first video on my new channel. I would love for you guys to stick around because I just love talking, man. Like, I voice note people and I just yap for days about obscene random things. I'd love to be able to do it for a YouTube channel and just bring you guys just the most entertaining random shit. Okay, I'll give you an example as to why you should subscribe, right? Someone asked me about the best hiding spot in Norrish, you know, that mission from Modern Warfare 2. Guys, you want to see that video, I've already made it. It is so out of pocket. But yeah, the idea is to keep your legs churning like Sonic the Hedgehog because you want Makarov and his goons to see you running outside and think, damn, kind of far. Not worth it. And then they, you know, carry on doing their thing and that. Yo, subscribe, man. Like, do I need to repeat myself again?